Some people ask me how I've made the glitch animated music video. This is the process. It took about 2 months and 1,500 drawings, a lot of other stuff, so this is a step-by-step breakdown. So the first thing I wanted to do was get the concept right. I wanted a neon noir kind of style, which is pink and blue colours, and I wanted this in kind of an urban setting. This made sense as the animated artwork had those colours in there as well. So due to lockdown, I had to film this all in my flat. I had to dance around in my front room looking like a bit of a dick, trying to perform as if I was on some kind of big stage and getting harassed by the cats every few seconds. It didn't matter that the quality of this was poor, as I was going to trace over it later. The next stage was pretty much the thing that nearly killed me off and took about 2 months of work, and that was tracing every single frame one by one to create the animated version of myself. I was working at 8 frames per second. So I'd trace one still image, fill in the gaps, move on to the next one, and continue this for the whole thing. I definitely recommend having another screen with something to binge watch and lots of snacks to keep sane. Once I'd fully animated myself, I had to think of some kind of stage or setting to put myself in. I thought a city rooftop would look kind of cool, so I drew that in Illustrator, sticking to the line style that I use for all the HUDSUN stuff. Then I had to combine all 3 programs of After Effects, Animate and Illustrator, and I was able to place myself on that rooftop and combine it all together. Next I wanted to inject some colour in that I'd seen on that neon noir style, going with the pinks and the blues, and added that to the drop down parts of the instrumental where things could get a little bit more erratic and colourful. I also added a colour overlay to myself with some kind of glitch effect and all sorts of glowing and electricity marks to make this look a bit more interesting. To add depth to this video, I needed to have an interesting background. So I began to draw a cityscape background that had lights that were switching on and off randomly. I also added some clouds and stars that were moving to bring this whole scene to life a little bit more. I also felt at this stage that everything looked a little too clean, so I added some grunge effects and textures to the rooftop to roughen everything up. To create more movement in the scene, I added some fans to the roof that were spinning at all at different times, and added smoke effects to all the chimneys that were on the roof, which pretty much f***ed my computer memory but looked way better in the mix. The thing that had the biggest impact on making this look interesting was adding lighting to the background and foreground. Using those neon colours again, I've added various lighting that was all moving in the background, which really brought that city to life. I also added lots of lighting in the foreground to blend the whole thing together. At this point I had the idea to also add some anime style lighting effects to the background during those heavy drops, just to create again some more energy and make it just look a bit crazier. So this was all pretty much there now. I just wanted to add a few extra things to make it look a little bit more interesting, so I added the rainfall towards the end to add a bit more drama to the scene, and I've added lots of flashing lights and colour overlays to blend everything together. I also added a lot of camera shakiness and movement to make it feel like someone was actually there filming the event. So that's a simplified version of how I made that video. Thanks for listening to it and watching. I wouldn't recommend trying to do that unless you knew how many hours you were going to have to put in, because it can get f***ing boring. But I'm really happy with how it came out, so cheers.